Marcellus, welcome back.
Thank you.
Would signing with the Lakers make Kawhi a bit polarizing?
I'll be remiss if I didn't say it feels good to be home, brothers. But as Rick,
only man who comes back from vacation to work a holiday.
Yeah.
Only man I know
been
in
gone
America.
3 weeks and I come back day one, holiday. Backwards. Let's say this. Will he be polarizing if he comes to the Lakers, leaves Toronto? Absolutely not. Think about it. If he goes to any of the LA teams, he's going to be able to play basketball and then let the entertainment value be taken over by his locale. Think about it. This is Tinseltown. They're going to try and bring that out of him and extract that from him. But in reality, this is a guy who's just going to play basketball and go home. And everything else is going to be dressed up around him, about him. And especially if he's a Laker, he'll be third fiddle in terms of personality and demand in terms of reach. So here's the thing about Kawhi that I love so much. And it's amazing this is happening in our society today, that it's no longer a virtue to be patient. Because of Twitter, because of the media, because of everyone's efforts to know instantaneously what you're thinking and what you're doing, that we're now going to make Kawhi Leonard the bad guy for actually taking his time doing an important decision. It's just amazing that Kawhi is doing it the old school way, is doing it the correct way, but now is going to get demonized to some degree just because he's doing the right thing. To me, not polarizing in one bit. Wherever he lands, it's going to be about basketball.
Hopefully Clippers uniform, throw that.
You already know that. I'm trying to say it.
Marcellus, it's good to have you back because I've been fighting these battles on my own for the last couple of days.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is, he's already been a polarizing figure. This is not he's going to become one. A year ago, he was going up against and getting crossways with one of the most revered organizations and head coaches in the league. Yeah. So this is not a new turn. It is simply Kawhi is doing what Kawhi's just following his own lead. And everybody's trying to figure out, well, what's behind this? He's just making a decision. What I appreciate is the fact that he said, you know what, I'm not going to look at this until my season is over.
Yeah.
KD, Kyrie Irving, any number of these guys, they were making decisions months ago, if not last summer. Yeah. Kawhi stuck to what he said he was going to do, which is that I'm not going to pay attention to this until my season is over, which is why it is taking so much time, especially with the Lakers changing things, bringing Anthony Davis in, and Kawhi winning a championship. All of that changes the dynamic of what he's considering that he's going to do. So I don't think this is him reaching for attention in this case.
Keep it. I don't question his motives, and I keep saying inadvertent. It's just a product of this new normal that LeBron created that I think he's going to give collateral damage.
I agree with you. If he goes to the Lakers, I don't think the process in and of itself. But KD made his announcement, through his Instagram account.
He tried.
LeBron, yes. LeBron did it with the decision.
Yes.
If Kawhi somehow steps out there and does the Kawhi special, then I'll stand down and say I had it wrong.
Okay.
My thinking is he's going to make his decision, he's going to tell the team, and they're going to keep it moving.
You know, I think I love both points, Marcellus, Rick. I love both points.
What about me?
I don't.
The table setter.
Listen. I ain't been with y'all in a minute. I love you, but I don't agree with your point at all. Listen, he's already been polarizing. Yeah. He's who he is. What I believe in people is you are who you are. When he was in San Antonio, you hear a peep out of him, but they were bashing him. He gets to Toronto, you hear a peep out of him, and he wins a title. Even if he comes to the Lakers, say if he comes to the Lakers, he's going to be who he was for the last 20-something odd years. That's just who he is. Now, Marcellus made a great point. Because of social media, instant gratification is there. So everybody, July 1st was the first day you could start doing all this. It's only the 4th. It's 3 days later. Yeah. He needs to take his time. He's not Kevin Durant. He's not Kyrie Irving. He's not all those emotional guys where during the season they're like, they're mixing all their emotions in with their play and blah, 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 blah. He's like, you know what? I'm going to wait till after the season. Now, you know what? Oh, it's the first day? I'm going to wait a couple more days. I'm going to see where I'm going to go for my future. I don't see anything wrong with that.
I don't necessarily see anything wrong with it. Mm-hmm. That's why I keep saying inadvertent. Mm-hmm. He's a byproduct of what started in 2010 with LeBron, where these off-season free agent decisions have become, hell, damn near bigger than the games and a huge storyline. And so I do think he's staying in character, Kawhi. But if he comes to the Lakers, there's going to be some heat coming his way, LeBron's way. LeBron's going to take most of it.
It was heat coming his way when he was in San Antonio and didn't play for all those games.
That's true.
It was heat every single day.
I don't think
and he still ain't say nothing.
I think what's going to be different about this situation, then let's talk about, you said LeBron, when he left Cleveland the first time. You talk about KD leaving Oklahoma. You talk about Dwight Howard leaving Orlando, backstabbing the coach, lying about it, getting caught, and still departing. All three of those situations, unfinished business in terms of success and championship. This is a guy who said, you can say nothing to me because I gave you everything. And I think a fan base that has been this starved is going to have to sit there and respect his wishes and respect his legacy, even if it's only 1 year.
Here's the issue, though. When you come to the Lakers and LeBron and Anthony Davis, that's why I'm saying if he goes to the Lakers, he's going to become more polarizing and polar. If he goes to the Clippers, I don't think that'll be the case. I think people will be like, well, he won a championship in Toronto, and now he's going to join the Clippers and take them to a title. You join the Lakers dynasty and all that, I think there's going to be a level of heat.
I think there's a certain faction out there that doesn't like the super team concept, and he's done it without the super team. So they will take issue with that. He owns that right now. No one else. I mean, one of the things we love about Kawhi Leonard is he's quiet, and two, he's like, as I've been told, you want to play with me? Cool. You don't want to play with me? Cool. I'm going to do my thing. If he goes to the Lakers, then it's going to feel as if, oh, he kind of caved. He needs somebody. We like the fact that Kawhi Leonard doesn't seem. Now, the one thing that levels that is he's also talked about wanting to go home. If it was any other situation, you would look at it and say, well, he's doing it for one reason and one reason only. He wants to play with a super team. He wants to have somebody who's going to carry the weight with him.
He was basically playing with a super team when he was with San Antonio.
Yeah, he was.
And he still got MVP. That's one. Two is you got to think about Kawhi's psyche and psyche of life. There's people that we all met that we all have. Say you had a bad day. You had that bad day. Guess what? You don't let nobody know, and you're still upbeat. There's people who had a bad day and they let everybody know. He's the type of person. He's so mentally strong. I don't care if he does come to the Lakers and this circus with LeBron and AD and Rich Paul and Rob Pelinka and Kobe and Magic. It doesn't matter. He is who he is. He's not going to change because the Heat was for real when he was in San Antonio and the best coach ever in Greg Popovich and Tony Parker is giving him slack and Manu Ginobili's playing hard and he's on one leg and Tim Duncan. And guess what? He still don't say anything. He still come to Toronto, still backlash from everybody out there, and he still wins the championship.
I want to protect the Lakers in this conversation.
Don't do it.
Says the Clippers guy.
Says the Clippers guy. In this respect, I think being polarizing, he's going to get outsized by LeBron and Anthony Davis, who have certainly given some fuel to the fire of them being polarizing. The T-shirts and all the passive aggressiveness and the departures and the way that they did it is completely different than Kawhi. Kawhi will land here and be third fiddle in terms of that polarizing mindset. He's going to be the Chris Bosh in what happened. And guess what? No, Chris Bosh was third place in terms of who you wanted to throw the darts at. And Chris Bosh got
That's what you mean.
Yeah. Chris Bosh was the third. And compared to what Dwayne Wade went through, and certainly LeBron, that was small in comparison. And I think you talk about Kawhi's mentality and the way he handles his business, I think it's going to disappear.
You know what I hope? You know what I hope? Seriously? The way Kawhi Leonard handles his business and the way his professionalism with basketball, I hope they market that more for a lot of these emotional young guys out here, opposed to the other ones that show so much emotion and don't really focus on ball like they say they want to do. I hope they really market him and say, you know what? Do that.
Let me move on to one other thing. Rick and I had a big argument earlier in the week, Marcellus. I want you to jump on my side here. I contend he thinks the NBA needs a villainous team and villains make the NBA better.
That's Brooklyn.
I don't. I think great, transcendent, winning superstars is the thing. I'm tired of the super teams and the super villainous teams. Does the NBA need a team you can hate?
Well, if I jump on your side, there go another earthquake. Let me just say that part. Yeah, they do. And look, I know where you're coming from, and I come from the same place. You have to always remember when you're talking about professional athletics, there's a division between the entertainment product and the sport. The integrity of the sport, the purists, the ones who played the game, the ones who love the game just for X's and O's. They're on a different side than those who are about the entertainment value, which is about storyline, which is about the I's and the U's, the people, the drama. I want the emotional arc. They need villains. So for us, we're ground floor. We're all into the game. We're watching it for the love and the purity. Those 10,000 feet above, they just want to see the smoke.
He's a Pacers fan, right?
Yeah. They want
Detroit was beating y'all up a little bit, wasn't they?
Who?
Detroit Pistons was beating y'all up a little bit, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were the villains, weren't they? Okay, there we go.
And that's who we're satisfied.
There we
So
go. We need that.
So to be at your
villain.
greatest as an entertainment product, as a business, you got to combine forces. You need them both.
The reason the Suicide Squad didn't work is because they took bad guys and they tried to make them good guys.
Yeah.
And we weren't quite buying into that. There's now the bad guys that became good guys that are going to beat the other bad guys. That was too confusing.
Yeah.
But you have to have, and by the way, this whole argument wouldn't work unless you vilified me. You need me as the villain in this thing.
There it is.
But look,
You made yourself the villain. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Hulk Hogan, for the longest time, why does pro wrestling work?
Brother.
You have to have a heel. You can't just have all good guys. And Hulk Hogan, for the longest time, he had King Kong Bundy and The Undertaker and all those guys. And then when that started to turn, it was like, you know what? Your turn to be the heel. We need somebody to be the heel. Yeah. Randy Macho Man Savage is now the guy. And no, I don't know that much about wrestling. I had to look it all up. But the fact of the matter is, I know how that dynamic works.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing. It's that entertainment value.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.